Hey you guys, it's Kyle from Markham Reptiles, and today we're going over the top 5 most common snake myths. Alright you guys, so here with me I have my boy Rolly. He's a beautiful northern white-lipped python, and I actually caught him locked up to one of our females, Belle, last night, so I'm super excited about that. And believe it or not, this guy is almost 3 years old now, so he is breeding age. Even though he's on the smaller side for males, he actually was locked up and breeding last night. So super excited about that. But alright you guys, we have our top 5 most common snake myths video today, and you guys actually compiled this list yourself off of Instagram. So we basically put up this question right here, and you guys voted with your likes and comments to name the top 5 most common snake myths. You guys made a great list. Let's go ahead and debunk some of these myths. So for number 5, we have the myth that snakes dislocate their jaws. This is actually a super common myth, you guys. I've seen this on National Geographic. I've seen this on multiple animal documentaries presented like it is a fact, and it is absolutely not a fact. There is not a single snake that dislocates its jaws. They do not dislocate their jaws at all. They actually just have a very flexible lower jaw. Their jaws are linked together by a very flexible cartilage, and their bottom jaw is actually 2 pieces that are linked together. So they're linked together by a very flexible piece of cartilage, and that's why they can walk their prey into their mouth. And their top jaw is actually all one piece, but it's all linked together by very flexible cartilage in the back. So they're just super flexible. They're not actually unhinging their jaw. Their jaw is just built differently than ours, and it's super flexible. So no snake actually unhinges its jaw. That is definitely false, and it's a super common myth. Literally, like I said, I've seen wildlife shows present that like it's fact, so I can see how people have that misunderstanding when really they're taught to have that misunderstanding. But it is not true, you guys. Snakes do not unhinge their jaw. Alright, for number 4, you guys, we actually have a 2-way tie between 2 different answers. So for the first part of this 2-way tie for number 4, we have the myth of snakes chasing people. So is Rolly chasing me right now because he's coming towards me? No, of course not, you guys. He's just going down my arm and stuff like that. But if I saw a snake in the wild and I approached it and I walked off, it would not follow me, okay? Snakes do not chase people. They are not aggressive. They are defensive. Even a snake like a black mamba, for example, is just defending a larger area. So that black mamba has its defense in that certain area. Once you're outside of that circle that it considers its space bubble, that snake will not come after you either. If you turn around and run from a snake, that is your best defense from any snake. Not that these non-venomous snakes can really do anything to you anyways. But even if you see a venomous snake and you turn around and run away, that snake is not going to chase you. Now, there are some snakes that are not super smart, and they may be fleeing to something behind you. So that's how you could see a video of a snake maybe shooting in between somebody's legs where they're standing, because it's trying to shoot to something behind them. And it's actually just going behind them. And if they just stand there, it's going to go right in between their legs and off into the bushes or whatever is behind them that it's trying to flee to. Or if you see these videos of a cottonmouth, a water moccasin, for example, swimming up to somebody's boat. This person is fishing, and this snake eats fish. It's not chasing you. You smell like fish. It's pretty much common sense, you guys. Snakes don't chase people. They're not PhDs, as Tom Crutchfield said, and they're not always the smartest in the direction they pick to get away. Sometimes they're frantic, and they may slither in the wrong direction, and that direction may be past you. But snakes do not chase anybody. If you run away from a snake, you're going to get away because you have legs and they do not. Alright, you guys. Here to help me with this next part, I have my beautiful boa imperator Athena. And she's absolutely a beautiful animal. She turns 4 next month. And she's a bit over 6 feet. So this next part of number 4 that you guys voted into the top 5 snake myths is actually that your snake is trying to size you up to eat you. If I laid down and Athena laid down next to me, a bunch of people would say she's trying to size me up to eat me. Well, alright, let's see, you guys. Let's see if Athena will try to size me up to eat me. Alright, you guys, let's go ahead and test this myth out. Here I have Athena. Here I have myself. And this is actually a tape measure, so she can actually size me up to try to eat me. Let's see what she does here. Here you go, Athena. Ah! Just kidding, you guys. I didn't get hurt. But she's not sizing me up to eat me, you guys. Snakes are ambush predators, okay? So they just sit in one spot, and when something comes by that is appropriate size and smells like food, they eat it. They don't sit here and measure you. They don't put on glasses and do scientific calculations and decide that you are the right length, height, and mass for them to eat. They don't do stuff like that. And they know that humans are the ones that bring the food. If you look it up, no one has actually ever been eaten by any species of snake in captivity. Yes, I said it, and it's true. Go ahead and hit Google up. No one has ever been eaten by any species of snake, no matter how big and no matter how small the person, in captivity. Now, that is because snakes learn your routines, and they know that you're going to come to their cage and you're bringing the food. You are not the food. And snakes, like I said, are ambush hunters. They're not sitting here for weeks at a time plotting your demise. These snakes really make snap decisions, and they know that you are not the food. Really, guys, a snake this big eating me, I mean, come on. I mean, it's just ridiculous. But even a bigger snake could not eat me as well. I am a massive human. I am 6'5", 285 pounds. And even a big girl like this, or even a massive 15, 16, 20-foot reticulated python could not even eat me. And even if I had a snake that got big enough to eat me, it would have to be a world record of like 30-something feet. But even if I had a snake big enough to eat me, the snake knows that I bring the food. It knows the routine. It knows it eats in its cage. It doesn't eat when I'm holding it. And it doesn't sleep in the bed with me. Where are all these people that are sleeping in the bed with their snakes? They have to have 6 snakes because snakes need certain temperature conditions and certain humidity conditions. So if your snake is just free roaming your house all the time, you're going to have a sick animal, and that snake is not going to live very long. Athena, for example, lives in a cage with the hot spot of 88. So I know most people's house is not 88 all the time or in the 80s. So she would not be under the right conditions. She wouldn't have access to water enough. She wouldn't have the right humidity, and therefore she wouldn't live a very long life. And that's why she has to have an enclosure, and she doesn't just sleep with me. But snakes sizing people up is absolutely a ridiculous myth. It does not happen, and don't listen to anybody that says that it does, because they simply don't know what they're talking about, unfortunately. All right, you guys, for the number 3 most common snake myth, we have the myth that some snakes are poisonous. So to start, we should explain the difference between poisonous and venomous to you. A poisonous animal is one that if you eat it, it's going to make you sick. That's how it poisons you. A venomous animal has to actually inject the venom into you to envenomate you. So no snakes, actually there is one. There is one snake that is poisonous. I hope you don't plan on eating it. And I actually could not find the name of it because this myth is so common that if you search which snake is actually poisonous on Google, you get a bunch of venomous snakes because Google doesn't realize that there's a difference between venomous and poisonous. So this myth is that common, you guys. Google doesn't even realize it's a myth. And poisonous is only something that you're going to eat. So if you guys don't plan on eating snakes, you shouldn't be too worried about whether they're poisonous or not. A venomous snake is one that if it bites you will actually envenomate you. And I don't have any venomous snakes here, you guys. I did actually handle some cool venomous snakes at my buddy Colin's house, Birdman Exotics. I did a really cool tour with him, and I'll actually link that in the description as well. But there are actually safe ways to handle venomous snakes as well. So there are not any poisonous snakes except for one snake. I think it is some sort of keeled rat snake in Asia. It's definitely some sort of rat snake. If you guys know the name of that snake that is actually poisonous, and I believe it's rear-fanged venomous as well. Rear-fanged venomous means they don't have an injection system. They have to actually chew on you, and they basically have modified saliva that's considered like venom. And really it's to help them break down their food. But that's what can envenomate you. But you have front-fanged venomous like a cobra or something like that. Rear-fanged venomous would be like a mangrove snake or something like that. But the snake that is actually poisonous, so if you eat it, it'll make you sick, is also, I believe, rear-fanged venomous. If anyone knows the name of that snake, go ahead and drop it in the comments. Because like I said, this myth is so bad that I couldn't even pull the answer off Google. So that's the difference between poisonous and venomous, you guys. I don't want to hear anyone saying, is that snake poisonous? Because if you're not going to eat it, that shouldn't be much of a problem. For number 2, we actually have the myth that your snake is trying to eat you. And like I said earlier about sizing you up, snakes do not size people up. It's absolutely ridiculous. Snakes are ambush hunters. They don't do anything like that. This myth about snakes eating people, no person has ever been eaten by a snake in captivity. I actually made a whole video on the subject of snakes eating people, and I will link that in the description. It's super detailed, and it actually deep dives into all of this stuff. But no snake of any species has ever eaten any human of any size that is adult, child, or baby. No one has ever been eaten by a snake in captivity. Now, there have been other cases of people being killed by snakes, but it is extremely rare, extremely, especially considering like 60 people a year get killed by dogs. So there's like 0.4 people a year that get killed by snakes, so less than one. It's extremely rare, you guys. And like I said, I actually did a whole video on this subject. I'll link it in the description. If you really want more on the subject of snakes eating people, you definitely should check that out. But it is a myth. No one has ever in captivity been eaten by any snake of any species, you guys. And that goes for any size person. All right, so that brings us to number one. And the number one snake myth is, you guessed it, snakes are slimy. This girl, Tinkerbell, right here, is a het amelanistic, het ultra, motley corn snake. Motley is these circles right here that go down her body. And she's absolutely beautiful. You can see that part of her belly is orange, and part of it is actually white. And she's actually super pretty. She's a super sweet girl, and she is not at all slimy. She is not wet at all. She has not been sitting in any water. That's the only way that a snake would be wet, as if it was sitting in something wet. She's not been sitting in anything wet. So it's really just smooth but textured. So she has like almost like a skin, but it's like a textured skin, and that's what the scales feel like. They're not at all slimy. And a lot of people think that before they hold a snake that it's going to be slimy. I don't know why people think that. Maybe they're confusing snakes with earthworms or something like that. I really don't understand where that myth came from. Maybe it's because they're shiny, but the shiny is just their scales. Like if our hair is healthy, our hair is shiny. It's like that sort of thing. So they're not slimy at all. They definitely have no wetness to them unless they've been sitting in water. And they actually feel really cool. So if you think that this myth is true, you should just try holding a snake, and you will immediately see that it is not slimy at all. This girl, Tinkerbell, is absolutely amazing, by the way, you guys. Corn snakes are really cool, and they're also natives to North America. So if you're watching in North America, especially here on the East Coast, you could definitely find these guys outside in your own backyard. They won't look quite like this. Tinkerbell is a morph, so she was bred for this color. But these are a super cool snake. They're active during the daytime, which is why they have round pupils like this. And they're just super cool animals. But all right, you guys, thanks for watching this video, and thanks for educating yourself in order to debunk these snake myths. I absolutely enjoyed making this video. Thank you to everyone that participated from Instagram. I'm going to go ahead and link all of you guys in the comments below. And from Tinkerbell and myself, you guys have a wonderful day and keep spreading love in the world.